The views and opinions presented in this media format don't reflect the views and opinions of Gracie NEPA as a whole. This broadcast is meant for entertainment purposes only and is the product of two idiots with microphones and far too much time on their hands. If you are easily offended, this podcast probably isn't for you. In addition, the content herein contains loud noises, adult humor, and language not suitable for children and most adults. Also, the opinions expressed herein are not intended for legal, medical, or financial advice. We are not experts, although we play them on TV. Void where prohibited. Batteries not included. No purchase necessary to win. Open to all legal residents 18 years or older in the continental U.S. Dealer participation may affect actual costs. Hosts are not responsible for personal items left in your car while listening to this or any other broadcast. This broadcast has zero cash value and should remain frozen until ready for use. Also, it should not be used by pregnant or nursing women and has been known to cause violent outbursts in lab animals. In case of ingestion, induce vomiting, and remember, these are professional drivers on a closed course. Do not attempt this at home. Serious penalty for early withdrawal and not a member of the FDIC.
All right, everybody. Jeff Reese, Tyler Calvey. Another episode of Low Hanging Fruit, and it's a benchmark. Level 10. We've made it to the 10th level of hell, and we've brought everybody along for the journey. Yep. I think level 10 we should have done something bigger.
Yeah, they 10s, but we keep them clean.
It's all right. We'll plan something big for 20 or something. We'll have a fat guy BJJ episode at the school.
Oh,
Bring in every fat guy that we have and put out a buffet and talk.
We can do that.
Or barbecue. They can give us their barbecue secrets. We got a lot. We got a lot this week. A lot this week. Where do we want to start with?
We'll start with last week, Worlds.
Last week, Worlds. Yeah. Keenan. Big news with Keenan.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
I mean, I feel like everybody else did. His white privilege just doesn't carry water in IBJJF.
In the world of Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. They kind of robbed him.
Yeah. Not kinda.
Yeah.
They did. And I've said that for a long time. I'm real anti IBJJF. Like I don't even make any secrets about it. I despise the organization. I think it's unfortunate that that's where people have to compete in order to claim legitimacy. Well, maybe not anymore, because there's some good stuff coming out with Eddie Bravo and
but still, to a degree,
you can't not be associated with the IBJJF if you want to be
a world
the
champion.
best.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah.
You have to dance to their fiddle, and you have to be pulled by their strings. And I think they're a fucking money grubbing group of scumbags. I can't stand them. I can't stand the IBJJF.
Well, also too, what they've done is they became the anti-jiu-jitsu, because originally jiu-jitsu was bring your leg locks, bring your techniques, bring your reapings,
right?
All those things, and we'll deal with it because jiu-jitsu is here to defeat all.
Right.
And then they said, these leg lock guys are giving us problems. Reaping in the knee is dangerous, which I've never seen anything.
No. What it is they're following the path of judo.
Yeah.
Right. There was a time where judo was the most feared martial art on the planet.
Yes.
Before jiu-jitsu. Before jiu-jitsu was recognized and brought to the world, I would say judo was arguably the most feared martial art on the planet. And then it became a sport, and it came to America, and like anything that comes to America, whether it's martial arts, electronics, porn, whatever it is, we take it and make it better. As Americans, that's what we do. We make it better, for good or bad. We've done some horrendous things of Americans.
Yeah.
The atom bomb, the Nazis had it first. We took it, we made it better, and we dropped it.
Yeah.
That's what we do as Americans. That's our lot in life. We make things a better version of itself, whether it's good or bad. Doesn't matter. So the Americans, they get their hands on judo. Karate, the same thing, right? Americans get their hands on karate. They put it in movies, and they marginalize, and they market it, and they make it a big thing. And now, every karate tournament is point fighting. You go back and watch old karate tournaments, there was fucking teeth flying, heads flying, like they were out to kill each other. That was the same thing with judo. There was nothing that was off base or illegal or whatever. They had their throws, and then the Americans get a hold of it. They go, well, you're a real good wrestler, but you're not good enough to be on our judo team for the Olympics. But we're going to put this thing called a kimono on you, and you're going to go out there and you're going to double leg every Jap possible. And you go out there and you fucking double leg every Jap, and all of a sudden they go, the Judo High Council goes, whoa, hey, double legs. Stop. Those are now illegal. That's part of Kano's original curriculum was the double leg. Morote something. I don't know what the fuck it is. Morote something. Kevin Killian can comment on it and tell me what it is. Morote something. But it's part of the original curriculum. So how do you strip something out of the original curriculum? And now that's what jiu-jitsu is doing. They're going, oh, our Brazilian golden boy got beat by, this American, so now we're going to say reaping the knee is illegal. And this is illegal. And every time a golden boy gets beaten, I don't care if it's golden boy karate, golden boy boxing, golden boy judo, golden boy jiu-jitsu, every time the golden boy gets beat, the council puts in a new rule and says, that's illegal now. That's dirty play. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. And you say better, in a capitalistic sense, it's better because they monetize it and they sportize it to where it could be marketed and sold.
Right.
Easily. But better because, I don't know, we have this weird thing as Americans, like we love violence, we love everything, but as soon as someone starts to, there's possible injury or something like that, and then we try and shroud it in, well, we're going to make it as safe as possible and it's even going to be better than it ever was.
Right.
And that's what they're doing with football and basketball and everything, every sport that's been created, they pussify it after a while.
Finish your thought.
They pussify it because of, they just feel like it'll appeal more to the masses and they're going to get less backlash because less people are going to get hurt.
Yes.
But that's not necessarily true. Leandro Lo dislocates his shoulder and nobody reaped his shoulder, nobody reaped his knee. Right. So to me, you have to keep the purity of the sport, and this is why I always go back to Metamoras just fucked up so hard because they could have been that thing. EBI is starting to, but that's the thing with the Brazilian High Council. They'll never give EBI enough. Like you notice how none of those world champions go in there, and I don't even think it's necessarily just as they're afraid of the rules or afraid of the leg lockers. I think it's kind of like they
don't want backlash from the Brazilian high
Right, they're just like, no, we're not going to support Eddie Bravo. He's a pot-smoking, American guy who doesn't play by the rules.
And I'm not an Eddie Bravo fan, but I empathize with the guy. I know you are. I'm just saying, like, me personally, I'm not an Eddie Bravo fan.
I think we wouldn't be here without him.
But he's advanced the game. And that's what I mean, like, that's what Americans do. We advance shit.
For sure.
We advance it. We take it, we advance it, I'll say electronics. We pushed when Atari came out or whatever. You took it and 20 years later we're at fucking virtual reality. That's what Americans do.
Yeah. If we could if you could sell it, they'll make it great.
We'll make it great. Yeah. For, like I said, for better or for worse or whatever it is. But one of my biggest pet peeves currently in the state of jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu for everybody. Oh, jiu-jitsu's for everybody.
Yeah,
it's not for everybody. No. If you dumb it down and water it down, it's for everybody. But jiu-jitsu, the way I was brought up on jiu-jitsu, wasn't for everybody.
No.
I literally crawled out of bed some mornings with Tracy looking at me going, where are you fucking going? You're going back there to get what? To get your head wrenched off? To get your, face slapped in? To get, no. And I think we do a real good balance of keeping it fun for people. But on the same token, we're pretty hard on our people.
You do. You have to be. Because
I don't think we're for everybody.
No.
I don't think we're for everybody.
No, but the thing about jiu-jitsu is it's not, the truth isn't for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People don't like the truth. People want to go there and think that they're getting better even if they're not.
Right.
So, some people will lie to them and let them, hey, you're doing great, doing great.
Yeah.
And then they get themselves in a real situation and then they realize how unprepared they are.
Yeah.
Rather than giving people the what time is it and cross-facing them. Not injuring people, but inflicting a little bit of serious discomfort and a little bit of pain.
Pain, discomfort,
is a nice
and humility
way,
is a good thing.
Yeah, and it's a nice way of saying, hey, man, a guy in the street is never going to be this nice.
Yes.
As brutal as this is, this is still nicer than anything a guy on the street is going to want and try and going to do to you.
Right.
Because he's going to try and hurt you. He's going to try and injure you.
Yeah.
He's going to try and incapacitate you.
Yeah. In the street, you might wake up farting KY jelly.
You're done. Yeah. You might be in serious trouble.
Right.
So the people who complain about the cross-facing and the rear naked Scrantons, here, I'm telling you, across any gym, I mean, I'll be nicer to certain people than others, but if you tuck your fucking chin down and you start fishing away with grabbing at my feet and shit, and I can just grab your face and choke your face, I'm gonna choke your face because tucking your chin is not a viable defense. A guy in the street is going to squeeze your fucking teeth through the back of your head. If you think that he's not, then you're an idiot. Especially if he's any type of strong guy. Mm-hmm. You better defend the choke, and you better do it the right way.
The right way.
Yeah. There's too many people who get away with that at schools where guys won't do that. It's uncouth or whatever. But no, man, that is the nicest thing I can do to you. I'm not going to try and put your teeth through the back of your head, but I'm going to let you know that this is a bad move on your part. Yeah. I'm not going to allow bad technique to be rewarded.
Absolutely.
Because even in a tournament, you do that shit in a tournament, and a guy's adrenaline's going, he's going to squeeze your jaw so effing hard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. Yep. So if I can give you a little taste of that, just a little spoonful,
that's it.
Maybe a couple spoonfuls of it, then, hey man, I'm sorry if I'm the dick, then whatever. You call me a dick, but
as long as you learn your lesson,
as long as you, right, and that's what I'm here for. Because when I was coming up,
I don't mind being a bad guy.
Nate Williams, if you let him grab your head,
yes,
he's gonna squeeze it until you either tap or it pops like a pimple.
Right.
So you better fucking learn that. Don't let motherfuckers grab your head,
yeah.
But you roll with other guys, and other guys either they don't have the strength to do that to you, or they go, oh man, maybe I don't want to wrench on his head. I'm going to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
And you never feel that. And you get a guy like Nate who doesn't have the greatest jiu-jitsu skills, but his strength and athleticism would make up for a lot of that. And he will grab a hold of your fucking head or something, and it would
decent wrestler, like
great base, but he will grab a hold of you.
One of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
For sure.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Great guy.
He's a nice guy.
But he wasn't technically doing things to you. But if you fuck around and you say, hey man, I'm gonna put my head in there where it don't belong, he could grab your head from inside your guard, whatever, and it's gonna be a horrible day.
Yeah. I remember him talking to somebody, I forget who it was, but it was one of the greatest quotes I ever heard from a white belt. And he said to him, he goes, your jaw doesn't know jujitsu.
Yeah.
It was a fucking great quote. I tell people about that all the time.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, like, yo, you got to protect yourself. You better learn how to defend against punches, and you got to learn the street self-defense and that kind of shit. Because somebody's going to come out of nowhere and sucker punch you.
Yeah.
It don't matter that you're a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. If you don't see the punch coming, if they come from behind with a lead pipe and hit you, and that's what he was, I forget who he was telling that, but it was the greatest quote ever. He's like, your jaw doesn't know jiu-jitsu. You got to protect your head and your face and everything. It was awesome. It was the best quote I've ever heard from a white belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But digress.
We digress. But that's what we do here. That's what we do. Let's
bring
it back to
Keenan.
Let's bring it back to the ref screwing Keenan.
But yes, the IBJJF has had a bias against non-Brazilian. I'm not even going to say Americans because I don't want to sound like a whiny American, but non-Brazilians. Yeah. And there has been a stigma of that where a lot of people have said, listen, if you don't go out there and win, that's why there's so very few.
Well, I think rightfully so. That stigma's attached.
Yeah.
I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
The Blast just recently posted a video of him getting screwed not too long.
Yeah, I saw that with Caprito.
With Caprito,
yeah.
Caprito was talking to the ref.
Yeah. But you're not supposed to talk to the ref. And he clearly passed his guard, and they reset
him back, and it was such a clusterfuck. And that's, I mean, beyond the favoritism, and then it's money. To get your black belt recognized, it's $500 or something, and then to get your next stripe recognized, like it's fucking so much money.
Yeah,
I went through it because I tried to get. Because a couple of our guys wanted to compete under IBJJF, and when I contacted them, they're like, "Oh, well, we don't recognize Master Khan's second degree or something like that." And in order to do that, he'd have to
register.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Rob's been around 25, 26 years of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. He'll fucking kill you. And you're not gonna recognize my black belt?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Right.
Fuck you. I hate them. Hate them. I do.
And they screwed Keenan, and it sucks because he's searching for that world championship, and he needs that to be able to move his credentials forward, to be able to sell more seminars, to be able to make a living. All he needs is that stamp from this IBJJF. Right. Because unless you win Abu Dhabi, which is the only other avenue, but that's no gi. As far as gi goes, there's only one avenue to be a world champion.
They have the market.
You have to go to IBJJF.
Right.
Like EBI, you can like Eddie Wolverine's never won any major world championship as far as IBJJF goes, or in the gi. But as no gi goes, he's a multiple time at EBI.
Right.
And people recognize him as a very special no-gi artist.
Absolutely.
But as far as gi, that's why Metamoris fucked up, because Metamoris wasn't necessarily a tournament and a world championship, but it could have been a place where
The best of the best.
you put the best of the best. It was like the Kumite.
Yes.
Even more so than Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi's tournament style. Like,
Right.
you could get beat by a nobody on your way to that championship you
Right.
want to see. But we say,
Or
fuck
the
that.
Gracie Eddie Bravo.
Right. Exactly.
At the
So-
time, Eddie Bravo was a nobody.
Nobody.
Shocked the world.
Which is
Fucking
fun.
shocked
I mean, the
the
March
world.
Madness thing is fun.
It's always
But
fun.
sometimes it would be even nicer if you didn't have to sift through all the upsets and you can say, listen, this is the team I want to see play against this team right here. And let's just get those teams and put them there. Boom, they're booked. It's like how MMA is, where instead of having a tournament, you can say, I want to see that fighter versus that fighter. That Jits guy versus that Jits guy. And let's see who it is fresh. No, maybe his one guy tapped a guy in 30 seconds. The other guy had a 7-minute war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's not even. So I want to see, as much as that is fun to watch and see guys compete and fight through all the adversity, sometimes you're just like, I want to
Sometimes you
see
just
fresh
wanna
as
see
fuck.
it.
Let's go. And Metamoris 1 and 2 and 3, it was just, they had it.
So good.
And I don't know if we're going to get that again as far as the gi goes in a while, because if people are afraid
the idea's out there in the universe. Hopefully somebody picks it up. You know, other than Halleck Gracie, and hopefully somebody picks it up with a little more sense of what to do with it.
Speaking of fucking...
He needs to stick to rap, because his rap game is fucking
terrible.
What are you talking about?
It's terrible.
Jinagi?
Terrible.
It's the fucking...
It is. It's
the third greatest song behind Enter the Ninja.
They've said he is the songbird of this generation.
He is a songbird of your generation.
But hold on, going off the rails a little bit now. Jeff Glover is putting on a tournament this weekend.
Is he?
And it's called the High Rollers, and it is specifically for weed positive competitors. So you have to get stoned and compete, and I believe the prizes are weed related, like
Jeff
everybody's
fantastic.
Everybody
I want to hang out with that dude and just.
Vice is gonna do a documentary, like Vice News.
Right.
They're gonna do like a segment thingy on this event.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my buddy from Vegas
was
supposed to go into it because he was telling me he was trying to get into the one bracket, because he knows Jeff Glover, but. I don't know if he is or isn't, I'm not sure, but he was telling me all about it. He's like, yeah, you have to be stoned, and you win, like, because they're all sponsored by different weed companies, so, like, you get, like, X amount of oils, you get X amount of weed, you get X amount of edibles if you win, and maybe, like, $1,000 or something.
That's great.
I know. I was born on the wrong coast. I was born on the wrong coast. The fuck? Come on, Pennsylvania, get your shit together.
God, that's awesome. The High Rollers tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking great.
Yeah, you have to check. When I see the link for that documentary, I'll definitely send it.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta watch that. What about Leandro?
Buchecha, Leandro Lowe, in the absolute.
Yeah.
Buchecha bowed out.
Yeah,
Gave it to Leandro Lowe.
They closed out the bracket.
Yeah.
And typically I'm not a fan of that, like closing out the bracket.
Yeah.
But that was classy.
It was classy.
It was classy.
Leandro Lowe dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah. In the semis?
I think.
No, in the quarter, right?
Of his weighted.
Yeah, of his weight.
He made it, because the way, and that's another thing too with the IBJJF. They do the absolute sometimes the day before they do absolute matches. So your bracket might not go. So it's a really weird situation. But the only way you can qualify for it is have qualified for it previously. But it's just weird.
Whatever it was
yeah.
It was a classic
but he
move
made
by
it.
Buchecha.
But he couldn't. He dislocated his shoulder. He couldn't continue in his division, weight division.
Yeah.
But he already advanced to the finals.
To the absolutes.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a cool move. I didn't have any problem with it. I saw some hate online, but you know what's Buchecha gonna do? You know, like fucking permanently injure the guy, and you know.
No, but I mean, Buchecha could have said, "Hey, man, you know, you can't go." So I win.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I thought it was a classy move. I don't think there's any.
I think though in the end,
it's a win-win move for Buchecha.
You think, but he doesn't get credit for the gold.
Yeah.
But that's on his resume. He most likely would have beat Leandro Lowe as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, you know, you get to a certain point in life where, you know, that material possession doesn't mean much anymore. It's the gesture.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a reverend now. I don't know if you know this.
I'm
a reverend now, so let me speak to you from the heart. Sometimes it's not about material things. Sometimes it's, you know.
And
it's about the good stuff.
And that is a good segue into...
I swear he's not pulling up porn. He's playing with the computer right
Yeah.
now. He's not pulling up porn.
But since you said that is a good... This is a good segue into our next story. Where you said that
we're gonna get
it's
deep.
not about the material
I know.
shit.
And this is we skirted around this a lot last week, but we're gonna tackle this head on.
Yeah.
So Anthony Bourdain, suicide, right?
Yeah.
61 years old. This is the guy that had in what I thought was everything, right? Did you ever watch his show?
Yeah.
Other than the one that Kurt Oceander was on, did you ever actually sit back and watch his show?
Yeah, watch. They're all kind of the same. Like no reservations.
No reservations
To
was such
Parts
a
Unknown.
good Parts Unknown was so good.
What was the original one? I can't remember. But they're all basically the same thing.
Same
Was
concept,
He
and
just,
he was just
goes and
What
he
a
just
fucking
samples the food and
life.
the fun and the wine.
What a life!
Yeah.
Like just traveling the world, meeting people, and a guy you think had an ambassador of jiu-jitsu, because he had recently in the past 3 years maybe he was training out with Gregor,
yeah.
Henzo Gracie,
yeah.
but I think Gregor, right?
Yeah.
I forget, but blue belt in jiu-jitsu. But like everywhere he'd go, man, he would talk about jiu-jitsu. It didn't matter if he was on ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox News, his own show with Kurt Oceander. He had Kurt on. They did a whole jiu-jitsu episode, and like he was a real ambassador of jiu-jitsu. So it kind of hits home a little bit, I think, with it, because the week before, Kate Spade, who was a purse manufacturer, like you're probably big into her, but I had to Google who she was.
I didn't know who she was.
I didn't know who she was. I had to get.
I assumed she was related to David Spade.
Apparently
she was.
I thought they were the same person.
No, but she really is related to him.
Is she?
Yeah, it's some sort of in-law.
Yeah, and then just 2 weeks ago, our student Rasco, committed suicide, and we skirted around that a lot last week.
All in the same way, right? All in the same fashion.
Everybody in the same fashion, and I don't want to get into the details of how everybody did it, but and on the surface, these are all people who are successful, well liked, well loved, like you think they got everything going for them, and it's just a really stark reminder of how quickly everything can just end. You know what I mean? Like that was for me what it was about. Like, I don't have any real hang-ups with death. Like I'm not afraid of dying, but what the fuck?
Shit, I got
Orgasm.
a wicked cramp.
Look,
Ah, fuck, I got a wicked cramp.
look at orgasm. It's the Jedi orgasm right there.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I got a wicked cramp.
Now you guys know why
Oh, my cut.
Tracy's been with me for 20 years.
Cut.
We can't cut. This is live.
Fuck.
We can't cut.
Oh, I got a wicked cramp. Oh.
This is what I do.
Fuck
This
me.
is how I tap people. This is terrible. And it's anal, by the way.
This is terrible during this fucking segment, too.
He hasn't mentioned where the cramp is, but it's rectal. Yeah.
It's terrible right now. No.
Somebody didn't
I
spit
got a
on
fucking
enough?
hamstring cramp.
I promised something big for episode 10.
Ah! Holy
We
shit.
didn't know Tyler was going to prolapse his anus.
During this fucking segment, did it have to have this happen? Oh, fuck, man. Oh, wicked
We're gonna
fucking
give that a
hamstring
minute in
cramp.
case you want to Google what a rosebud is. Put that in.
Okay. Too much coffee, too much training, not enough water. Fuck.
And that's how quickly life can change, just like that. It's like a cramp.
Hold on, we gotta cut. I gotta fucking walk this out. I gotta walk this out.
You walk it off?
Dude,
you
this
walk
is-
it off. I'll talk to the kids while
This
you
is
walk it off.
terrible. This is fucking terrible.
This is the first time in our podcast history that
Oh,
you
shit.
walk off camera. So,
Bro.
but I'm gonna talk to the kids while you do that, right? So, Anthony Bourdain dead at 61. Kate Spade didn't know her, dead. Our student, very good friend, takes his own life, and we skirted around the issue last night, and today I don't think we can skirt around the issue too much. He's so funny. He's outside right now, he's trying to stretch his cramp, and it's distracting. So I'm gonna come back to it because I want to talk about it with Tyler in the actual room once he's done with his menstrual cramp.
Holy fuck, dude!
Because it's a serious
Dude, this
subject.
ain't even fucking funny. That's the worst cramp I ever got in my life. Holy shit, it's still going.
Wow.
God.
You want some Midol?
Damn.
You know.
Oh,
Good
my
Lord.
hamstring. It's in my fucking hamstring. I've had a drink today, motherfucker. Fuck. I'm dehydrated or something.
Don't fast forward through this. This is good. This
Jesus. Christ.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You want to rub it? Huh?
I don't
What do you want me to
know.
do for you?
I don't know. Fuck. I gotta leave it up like this. Holy shit. This is terrible. And this is like the worst segment to fucking
possible.
absolutely.
But you know what? Listen, here's what.
This is no joke. I'm not playing.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Like, you know, people say all the time, like,
Crazy.
oh man, you know, I lost this person, I lost that person. They're looking down on us. Right there, right there was Rasco going, watch this, I'm gonna fuck with these motherfuckers.
Shit.
Right?
Dude,
He
that
jumped
was
into the
not
room
cool.
and
He fucking tapped me, bro.
and gave you, for all the times we tapped him during training and shit, he's like, watch this, I'm gonna fuck up low hanging fruit right now
Holy
and tap
shit.
out Tyler. That was great. I'm glad he had the respect not to do it to me though.
Fuck. I don't know, dude. I'm cramping up bad though. I need to hydrate.
Clean up your electrolytes
I
or
do.
something.
I do.
You know,
I've been
some more semen water or something.
I need something. I need a semen injection.
You need to
But
drink
yeah,
more
we
urine.
fucking ruined that segment. I
Wow.
was supposed
No,
to
we
get
can bring
deep.
we can bring it back.
Right.
It does because it doesn't need to be deep. You know, like
A little bit though. I mean,
Because I'm not looking to be a fucking therapist or anything like that.
No.
But it's just one of these things. Like I think I felt bad after last week's episode of not confronting it head on and just not talking about it. Like
Right.
beforehand, we said, "No, we're not going to talk about it."
yeah.
You know why? Why not talk about it? It's
yeah.
You know, you
It's
have
part
all
of
of these
life,
people.
man.
It's part of life. It's just you know, I tell people like I'm not afraid of death, but I don't invite it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. It's why I don't skydive. People are like, oh, you'd love skydiving. Yeah, what? Yeah, what if my chute doesn't open? I fucking bounce off the ground.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, you should do. You should. Don't you like the ocean? No, I don't like fuck the ocean. There's jellyfish and there's sharks in there. I don't fucking like that shit.
Yeah.
If I stay on in my house, then I'm not gonna be bit by a shark.
This is a little bit different though.
But this is different. But that's what I'm saying. This is the same thing where people are dealing with these type of dangers and demons in their life, and they don't think there's a way out of it. Or they don't feel value. I know, like for me, it's hard because I've never suffered from depression. I've never, and I've been through. You've been with me through a lot. Like
Yeah.
I've been through. I had a year where like, I had a year from hell. Right,
Yeah.
where I had, my fucking world got turned upside down. I had I lost everything in a house fire. I was losing friends. Like I had a fucking down spiral year. And even then, I was like, I'd never suffered from. So I can't relate to people who suffer from depression. I can't. But it's just one of those things. Like for me, I'm going to tell people like, if you are somebody that suffers from depression, there's people like me, Tyler, Big Kev. Fuck, Big Kev. Well, like he'll show up at your house at 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
eat some Fruity Pebbles with you. Like, reach out. And I think sometimes people don't reach out because they're embarrassed. And fuck that. Take 5 minutes of embarrassment and let us save your life. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fucking real thing. I tell people that all the time. Some of our people were really struggling with the Rasco thing. And I told them, listen, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you're fucking feeling down, you call my phone. I don't give a fuck. I will get out of bed, and drive to your house and we'll hang out. Like, seriously. And I don't know, I don't get it. I'm not a therapist. I certainly can't speak on the causes of it and everything like that.
Yeah.
But there's people who care enough to be there for you.
Yeah.
So, don't do it.
Well, speaking from my experience, I have
You have suffered from depression. Yeah, so you have a little bit more of an insight.
Yeah, and in high school I tried to kill myself in high school. I went home after getting suspended and a fight with the girlfriend, and it was crazy, but I ate like 50-some Tylenol PMs.
Right.
And thank God my mom checked the bottle because she made me go to the hospital and everything. But whatever. But throughout the years, I've suffered from depression, and this past year was tough. New baby, my brother passed away.
Yeah.
So, but I've sought help through the internet, to be honest with you, by hearing other people's stories and listening to how depression is and what it truly is and what people perceive it to be. And it's just another emotion, you know, and you have to be able to navigate through it. It's like those people with depression, it's like people with anger issues.
Yeah, and that's how I relate to it, 'cause
right,
I have anger issues.
Right, so, but instead of being able to channel that anger and breathe through it and not take a bat to somebody's head or hurt somebody or say, right? So it's the same thing.
You had to use that example.
But I'm just saying, but,
Yeah.
but I'm saying with that though, these people with depression, they give in to that, you know, split instant to do something harmful to themselves. Because it's just an emotion. You know, it's like some people can feel sadness and they cry immediately. They give in to that. Other people, you know, they can feel the sadness and they can work through it and it doesn't affect them as much.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with depression. You don't have healthy emotions. Most people who suffer from depression, they might have another like borderline personality or bipolar or something along those lines where these feelings come up, and if you can't identify them as, okay, this isn't real, it's more of, let me become the observer and say, okay, I'm feeling this, but I need to navigate through it.
Right.
It's just another emotion, but it's not a real emotion. It's not me. It's not what I want, who I am. This is who I am for the next hour, 2 hours, day, 3 days, whatever it is. But you have to be able to become the observer and say, listen, okay, I can navigate through this rather than giving into it, and that's when bad things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, there's a lot of, from my perspective, what I was talking to a lot of our members about was the people that are left behind and how to deal with it and how you're dealing with it. And, you know, I know, because that I can speak to from personal experience, and I was sharing this story with a couple of members privately, but you know, I was 19. I had just left for college. It was in my first semester of college, and I got the phone call that my friend had killed himself. And we grew up together. His mother was my godmother. My mother was his godmother. So we grew up in diapers. So you're talking 19 years of, like, you know, being together every day and you know, discovering, you know, Playboys together and you know, throwing rocks at girls and like everything that you would experience from diapers through young adolescent. Early adulthood, we had experienced together, and you get that call, you know, hey, Sean committed suicide, you know, and I remember being angry, like I wasn't even sad, I was angry, and angry for years about it, like until I dealt with that, like, you know, just to say, hey, I don't know what he was going through, whatever, but it was the more like, sadness I felt for myself at losing a friend, you know, and that's what I was expressing to some of our members, because some of our members were very upset and very angry. They felt guilty about their anger, and that's what I was telling them. Like, I think anger is a real emotion, you know, to say, like, or a real justified reaction to it. Yeah. You know, like, why did you do that? I'm so mad at you for doing that. You know, we had so many plans, we had so many of this, we had so many of this, you know, so, you know, I just advised them, like, hey man, you know, it's okay, channel that anger into something else, and just know that, you know, hey man, you had a good time with them, and cherish the memories you have, rather than be angry about the ones you're not gonna have. You know, but once I accepted that, but I'm telling you, that took me like well over a decade. Yeah. And what it I'm gonna say even longer than a decade, because it took the death of another friend to rectify that, or to reconcile that feeling, like, because another friend did the same thing, and it was like, what the fuck, you know, like, and that happening, then I had to really like dig deep and figure out, like, you know, so that's the thing I've come to, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna treasure all of the memories I have and not be angry about the ones that I'm no longer gonna get to. You know, maybe that's a cop out way of dealing with it, but I don't know. It works for me.
No, I feel you. But the thing about the depression feeling, though, from my point of view, is it's like I said, with the anger is the easiest way to describe it, where you're so pissed off at, maybe not that, but somebody cuts you off, or somebody does you wrong, or something, and your initial reaction is to just eviscerate that person and fucking, you don't care about tomorrow, the next day, it doesn't matter. Right then and there, if that's all that matters, and that's how that depression feels, where it almost, tomorrow doesn't exist, you know. But if you can make it to tomorrow, trust me, it's going to feel a little better. Yeah, and that's the thing I can tell anybody who's ever suffered from any type of depression. Like, just if you could get through today, relax and drink a coffee, go for a walk. But actually, I'll tell you, exercise is a huge help. Jerk off. But the Wim Hof, the Wim Hof, the breathe method, the cold method I've been probably depression free for a good like 6 months at this point. Where, like I said, I deal with that on a regular basis. To where some days like I'm like super bummed out.
Oh, there's days you're a bitch.
And I don't. But it's a weird.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill him today.
But it's a weird thing. Like it's nothing necessarily that happens.
Right.
It's just
I
wake up and I feel that feeling. But being able to exercise and being able to do the breathing and stuff like that and a little meditation, it helps a lot. Because then you get to, like I said, become the observer and realize that it's just something you got to work through. It's okay. Breathe, relax, you know.
I can usually tell the kind of day we're going to have when I wake up from what's in my Instagram instant message for you.
Yeah.
I can usually tell the kind of day we're going to have.
Well, it depends on Ned.
I better call Tyler. He's
Ned just gets me
angry.
Ned just gets me angry in the group text.
Ned does it on fucking purpose.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
I know. He's a fat.
Well, we go back and forth
lesbian.
with it. Yeah, we go back and forth with it to where like he'll call me and just be like, "Dude, what the fuck?" But like I said,
if you don't know our friend Ned, he looks like Greg. Google Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah.
And imagine Greg the Hammer Valentine as a lesbian.
Yeah.
That's Ned.
He's got a lesbian haircut. He's got a Katie Lang haircut.
Oh my God.
All right.
Poor Ned.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from this because I'm getting bummed out.
Yes.
You know. What do we want to talk about the UFC next?
Yes. We'll start.
What do you want to start with?
Yeah, we'll start with
that was the first fight. The CM Punk versus Mike Jackson.
Billie
Jean, not my lover.
Wait, Mike Jackson or Michael Jackson?
It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. They both had the same
I think Michael Jackson could have been.
They both had the same fighting skills.
Performance. Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this? I was really vocal about this leading into it. I was really vocal about it on social media today. I got into a couple arguments with trolls about it. Like, my anger issues were showing where I was like a Jay and Silent Bob moment where I was like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers, in your shithole."
Well,
you know,
here's like where you talk about America and American capitalism makes things better, right? Like, no, we know how to turn a buck.
This is the case study that proves me wrong right here.
This is we've taken something great, and we did. Like, we've taken MMA, which was in Brazil, in Japan, and we brought it here, and we added some rules, and we polished it up, and we made it the best sport in America, I think, at this point.
At this point, probably, yeah.
Football's like almost jumped the shark because of all the rule changes and all the politics.
Yeah, and the politics.
You know? So, but as of right now, it's 1 and 2. But MMA became and took over its competition as far as boxing goes by being the benchmark of let's put the best fighters against the best fighters, and we'll let everything else will take care of itself. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that.
Right.
And then you got CM Punk, which, I mean, I get it. It was in Chicago. He's from Chicago. And it was the biggest gate they've ever had, barring a basketball game at the United Center or whatever it was. Great. It was. But in the end, look at the product that we got.
It was McDonald's. And it wasn't good McDonald's. It was like... Timmy, who's out on work release, making your Big Mac.
Yeah, 2 a.m., 2 a.m. fucking...
Oh, the fucking lettuce and everything's sliding. Like, that's what it looked like.
Buns crusty from sitting under the heat lamp. The fries are soggy.
Fuck. CM Punk is like... I mean, listen, I'm a longtime wrestling fan. We talk about wrestling all the time. When Punk was in the professional wrestling world, super entertaining.
He made me not like wrestling, though.
See, I thought he was fucking entertaining because he was the guy that would actually, like, go off script. Yeah. For real. Like, Stone Cold always did it.
Right, but now you're talking about the antics of it, right? Like, I'm saying as a wrestler, he never impressed me. He looked kind of sloppy. He didn't do anything.
He wasn't high-flying. Rey Mysterio.
Right, like, if you're not going to look great, you got to jump off cages and fucking... I mean, Shane McMahon impresses me more inside the fucking
with his wrestling acumen.
Yes.
Yeah. See, now I was impressed with Punk for his mic skills. His mic skills.
Yeah.
And, I'm a big mic skills guy.
And that's important. It isn't.
Man, I love the mic skills.
Listen, it's important. I agree.
I love the mic skills more than the in-ring stuff sometimes.
No, you're.
I
And some guys.
was sending you and Ned some Macho Man clips the other day.
But Macho Man delivered. But Macho Man delivered for those
shit.
matches. He delivered those, like, he jumped off the top rope and dropped the elbow.
Yep.
He jumped over the top ropes.
Yep.
And that's something that we need. And taking all that away.
But I digress. I was I was a fan of his in the WWF.
Right, I get you.
But, you know.
But he was when I started to phase out.
He's got no reason to be in a fucking cage. He's not a fighter.
No.
You got Brock Lesnar, who, yes, he's a WWE superstar, whatever.
But
he was a legit martial artist. He was one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
Right.
He did fight before he went to the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Punk never had a fight before a UFC fight. Never. At least Lesnar, I think he had one fight, maybe two.
Maybe two.
You know, same with Ronda Rousey. You know, she was an Olympian, whatever. She had fights before the UFC. You give a guy, like, who did CM Punk below to fucking get a fight? No amateur background, no amateur fights, 0 amateur fights. Turns professional, walks onto a UFC stage, gets crushed by Mickey Gall, who he's underrated. Mickey Gall's underrated. I think they thought, like, Punk was actually had a chance against Mickey Gall. Get the fuck out of here. You know, and then he gets embarrassed, and they bring him back after an embarrassment like that, and they're like, well, we'll give you Mike Jackson, who Gall also beat, but they're like, so they're giving you a step down now. They're like, oh, you were so embarrassed, we're going to give you a step down.
Which, when does that ever happen? When should that ever happen?
It shouldn't happen.
Like the Browns don't go 0-16, and then we go, okay, well, we're gonna go and find a worse team for you guys to play because all the other 16 teams beat you. So now we're gonna try and it's you get better or you lose
or you get the fuck out of the way.
And this is it. You can't kick the Browns out of the league, but you could cut him and you could have said, "Hey man, go do little." I mean, now I think it's over though. I
hope to fucking hell, but Dana White in his press conference was blaming Jackson for the fight.
Yeah, he didn't like his performance.
Fuck Dana White.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Jackson
matter.
did the best
he
thing
did
he
what he
could.
was supposed to.
He did what he was supposed to. He carried Punk. He entertained the crowd. He got his 15 minutes of UFC time, and now Dana's going to be butthurt. You know what I mean? What Dana wanted him to take a dive? You know
No, I know.
Fuck off.
No, yeah.
Fuck you, Dana White.
Oh, he's angry today.
Fuck Dana White. CM Punk's got me fired up.
Yeah. But yeah, that was some bullshit.
His jiu-jitsu wasn't even fucking white belt level.
No.
It was below white belt level.
Like you would have been happier with like
awful.
Buchecha getting his first UFC fight if he wanted
There's
it.
1,000 people who I would have rather seen fight last night than CM Punk.
Give me a national championship wrestler or an Olympic qualifier wrestler getting a chance to go 1-0.
Right.
But they wouldn't sell as many tickets, and that's basically what it came down to.
And that's what some troll on the internet said to me. They're like, well, this is a business decision to get more people to view, UFC or whatever. I don't want those people to view UFC.
No, I don't. Fuck you. If you're going to tune in specifically to watch CM Punk...
To see a fake fighter,
Right.
That's what you're going to tune in for? I don't want you watching my fucking sport. No. It's the same. It's why I don't watch basketball. I'm not educated enough in today's era of today's game to watch basketball. You know, as a high school kid, different game back then, whatever. I was entertained by basketball. I don't watch it now because I'm not educated enough. I'm just not. Could I educate myself on it? Sure. But for every 10,000 fans that watched last night for CM Punk, one of those 10,000 people are gonna fucking educate themselves.
Yeah. Like for sure, it's terrible.
I don't want that fan base.
The people they're bringing, and that's why I criticize Bellator so much, is because they are going for the cheap trick as well with signing these old, washed-up fighters and trying to.
If Bellator did this stunt, I wouldn't have.
It would have made sense. No, it made sense. Like, that's what they do.
We'd have a different conversation.
Right.
I'd be like, ha, did you see CM Punk?
But I would still say the same thing. I would say, UFC,
we expect better.
I expect better from MMA across the board, though. Bellator, I expect better because they have more talent and better talent than CM Punk to present.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But the difference is he was on the main card. In Bellator, he would have probably been a headliner or a co-main event.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, and I think like some people argued like, well, the more fan base you get, the more money you get, and the better fighters you get. No, we have the best fighters now. Yeah. Put the best fighters against the best fighters. And who cares if Dana White makes more fucking money? He's not going to give it to the fighters.
Well, here's the thing. No, but the fighters do get more money. Because when the gate and the pay-per-view sells more, the fighters get a bigger
But not every fighter does.
A lot of them do, especially the championship
better
fighter.
ones. Yeah. Sure, the better ones do.
So that, in that regard, okay. And that's why I think a lot of the fighters on the card when asked about it, they kind of treaded lightly. They didn't say.
What they didn't want to offend,
right?
You know, the
because
almighty
they knew it was
right.
going to make them extra money,
right? But it's still a shit show.
Yeah.
CM Punk.
We're moving on.
Fuck CM Punk.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Go back to professional
hopefully we
wrestling.
won't ever have to speak about CM Punk.
Give me some
again.
fucking pipe bombs on the mic. Like that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Next fight.
Fuck
Cole next
v. Chaos Covington.
No, before that there was the girls.
Holly Holm.
Whoo boy.
Yeah.
Holly Holmes and Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
And Holly Holmes shut up that fucking hype train. Because
Yeah.
people were hyping that Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
Like crazy, and rightfully so. I mean, you look at her; she's impressive.
Yeah.
She is breeding stock.
True.
You want to create a superhuman army of mutant babies?
Mm-hmm.
You climb on top of her.
Yeah.
Oh boy, has she got good genetics.
Oh yeah.
I think Joe Rogan said last night she looked like a Navi warrior. You know the blue things from Avatar. Like he likened her to a Navi warrior, and yeah, she's nice to look at. But Holly Holmes fucked her up.
Yeah.
Up.
And that's been Holly Holmes' MO. I mean, she's probably top 2 or 3 best female fighters of all time. No questions asked.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If she could have beat Miesha Tate and held on to the title a little bit longer, she could have held possibly an argument for best of all time.
She had a hard time with Miesha Tate.
Yeah,
but
well, no, she
fighter...
did. She did really well with her. She lost the 1 round because she was on bottom, and Miesha Tate did groundwork. But she would have coasted to a victory in that fight. But Miesha caught her in the 5th round with a choke and put her out.
Yeah.
But if she could have got past that, I think she would have beat the next 1 or 2 girls coming down the pipe. You know what I mean?
think so. Yeah.
Because I think the next fight she lost was that Durandame. She lost that Durandame.
Yeah,
But that fight was so close, and she got cheap shotted twice in that. If she was the title holder, I think she would have gotten more of the benefit of the doubt. And because I think the UFC too, they play favorites, and that Durandame was supposed to be the chick who was going to come in and fuck Cyborg up,
right?
Because she actually fought dudes before.
Yes.
So I thought that's where when they took that decision, which she cheap shotted Holly Holmes, I believe twice in that fight.
Right. Yeah.
Holly Holmes was she landed the only legal significant strikes in that fight.
Right. Yeah.
But I thought that's what Dana White was, or the UFC was kind of looking for.
Towards. Yeah.
And that thought process goes why I say later on when we talk about the 185 title fight why the decision went the way it went.
And I'm wondering like what Holly does now, because she can do either weight. She can do 35 or 45.
Yeah.
Like she's good at both. You know, sometimes you see a fighter jump weights and you're just like, what is this fighter doing? She's really good at both. But I'd love to see her go back down and get 35.
I think they were asking her about Amanda Nunes. They were asking her about that fight. And
I'd like to see that. You know,
she would
because
have been
Cyborg's 45, so she could stick around and fight Cyborg.
She fought her already.
They fought already, but I'm saying like she could stick around and earn that back.
And she went 5 rounds with.
And she went 5 rounds with Cyborg.
With a not a close decision, but a pretty respectable fight. The only difference in that fight was Cyborg's ability to just move forward through a couple of her shots. Other shots that Holly Holmes hits chicks with, normal chicks, and they kind of slow, but she just ate him and kept moving forward and dropping some heavier hits.
Yeah. That goes back to last week. That's who I want as my sex robot.
Cyborg. Oh my god.
Sorry.
I would rather fucking Cyborg or Brady. He seems like he'd be a more gentle lover.
He'd be a more gentle lover.
I saw Cyborg fucking Christine Cyborg pick Tito Ortiz up in a triangle.
Slam him on the back of his head.
I ain't about that life.
Oh shit, that's great. But I think I'd like to see her go back to 35 and make a tear.
I think she gives Amanda Nunes an interesting fight. I think she would have made a better fight than that girl who just fought.
Yeah, I don't remember her
lesbians.
name.
Pennington. I think it was Pennington.
Yeah, because we talked about that on the podcast. Pennington. That's
the first lesbian. The first
openly gay. Whatever.
Right. And that's why I said that fight wasn't good. That girl wasn't ready. I will put Holly Holmes. She might be on a 2-fight losing streak at that point or whatever the case was, but she's always game.
Always game. Yeah.
That Pennington was off for whatever X amount of months, and then you bring her off
over a year.
Yeah, and then you bring her back to fight one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world.
Right.
No, you can't.
No, you can't do
It
that.
was terrible, and that's what happened. That's what you get.
Yeah, but Holmes was impressive standing and on the ground last night.
Yes.
So that was an interesting fight. I liked it. Covington, Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
It was all Covington
Yeah.
the whole way through.
Which is impressive.
Which surprised me. I did not expect that.
No.
I expected, coming right into the 5th round, going, I don't know who won.
Right.
I actually took a short nap in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Like,
it was over.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna close my eyes here between rounds, and I woke up for Romero and Whitaker. I woke up in time to see Colby Covington win, and I was like, oh, okay, good. I got a nice little 5-minute nap here. Yeah.
And Colby claims he trained with Woodley at American Top Team, and he said he fucking beat him pretty well in practice.
Yeah, but you hear that all the time from fighters. I used to beat this guy up in practice. I used to beat that guy up in practice. And again, practice is practice. I always go back to.
But he was saying though he broke Woodley pace wise. Like he wasn't even. It wasn't like just like I'm a skill guy. He's like I'm better than him skill wise, and everyone knew it there.
Right.
But also. He was done at. He's saying, my pace is unstoppable. My cardio's forever,
right.
And that's what broke him. He didn't want to do 2 rounds
more.
Yes,
right, yeah.
He was like, no. He's like, I'm only gonna go you when I'm fresh.
Right.
So, if that's the case, and you have confidence, and sometimes confidence is all you need.
He definitely does have that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right, and you look at Conor. I mean, Connor's had. That's what Conor carries Conor over. I feel more than anything.
What always carried Ali over.
If you believe you can't be beat,
right.
then it's hard for you to be beaten. And the guys he's been beating, Covington, it's getting impressive. It's starting to
get impressive now. Yeah.
And in the fashion he did it. I mean, what he did to Maia, he took the fight to Maia.
That was
Woodley beat Maia on points.
Yeah.
But Colby dismantled him, took it to him. Same thing with RDA, which you would think. If you're gonna fight RDA, you don't bring the fight in his face.
Right.
You gotta be quicker and slicker.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I'm gonna come right through right down the middle.
And I like his antics in the ring. I think he's a great fight. It's the outside stuff that I don't like. I think he's faking it.
Oh yeah, he's hyping it up.
Yeah, he's hyping. He's on the Conor. Connor's Conor, and everybody. We always come back to it. People are trying to, and he's just copying the model.
Mm-hmm.
He's copying the model. Dylan Dennis does it. There's so many people that copy the model, and it just comes off as disingenuous. I don't get it from him. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm watching Conor, I get fired up. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I see Covington, I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
God, stop talking.
Somebody wrote
that joke for you because you're not smart enough to write that fucking joke.
No.
And that's how I.
But
in the ring, man, that's what it comes down to. You can talk on the mic all day, but come in the ring, he fights.
And here's my thing, and this is where the UFC has to step up and start making these fights. They cannot continue to fuck around. Like there's no more interim. Like they need to take Covington.
Yeah.
And people think he's a little racist and a little. Like if you're gonna make a fight, it's Woodley versus him.
Right.
If you're gonna hype it up, I mean, there's going to be some racial tension. There's going to be some actual tension from our teammates. There's going to be some serious shit talking going on.
Yeah.
So
and those always make for the best fights. The former teammates like Dillashaw and Cody.
Yeah.
They make for the best fights because these guys are so familiar with each other, and the hatred is real.
Oh yeah.
Because when you leave your team for whatever reason it is, there is some animosity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
There is some animosity. And it makes for good fights.
Yeah.
Good drama.
I think that's the fight that they gotta make. He's got the belt now. No more of this dancing around, having this guy fight that guy.
Interim.
No.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
I have no interest in interim.
No.
Now if it's an her title, hey. I'm here all week. 2 drink minimum, tip your waitress.
And then on to the 185 championship,
Whitaker
sort
and
of.
Romero.
Not really.
Another interim? Is that an interim one?
Technically it was.
It wasn't even a title fight.
This wasn't a title fight, but
because Romero didn't make weight.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, Romero didn't make weight. He missed weight, so they said it wasn't a title fight.
See, this one says this says interim.
And it's an interim. It was an interim.
But it's not though,
so it's an interim non-title fight.
Well, because technically, GSP won the real.
Right. Yeah.
But he vacated it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is would be for the act. This would have been the unified active, the unified.
Yeah. So I think it was one of those things like if Romero won, the title was still open. If Whitaker wins, he's the champ.
Yes.
Which of course Whitaker wins.
Yes.
But in a close decision, that was a good fight.
I watched the fight though. Do you think Whitaker won it?
I don't know. I was sat there and I went whatever. I was sitting there going I don't want to be a judge.
This was one of the instances where I feel that
because there was some knockdowns,
a lot of knockdowns from Romero.
But Whitaker pushed a good pace.
Yeah.
Landed more strikes.
He landed more.
So it was one of those things where you go, I do not want to be a judge.
To me, it's a draw.
But you can't call a draw in a fucking fight like that. Like.
But you got to judge it round by round. The way I judged it round by round, it was Whitaker won more rounds, but I would have given Yoel a 10-8.
Right.
You know what I mean? In one or two of those rounds.
That's one of the things like Pride had really good with where they judged it as an overall fight.
Yes.
That, if I were to judge it as an overall fight, I'd probably go Romero. But if you go round by round by round, if you don't give a 10-8 round, and 10-8 rounds are hard to get.
Yeah, but the new criteria though,
they're still hard to get.
But with the new criteria, it's more concrete. Like if a guy's dropped with a punch and pressured, it's a 10-8 round.
Right.
And it should be. I think if you drop a guy with a punch and it's a real drop and not a slippage, it should be boxing because it's a fucking boxing. Especially if he doesn't do anything significant to return.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he could get back that point and make it a 10-9, but if you come out and you hit him with a left hook and drop him, and and that's basically it, then it's 10-8.
Yeah.
But if you drop him and then he kicks you off and gets back up, and it's still if he doesn't do anything to damage you significantly and drop you and stun you, you're winning that round in my eyes.
Yeah, and listen, and here's the dirty secret: is it's Vegas, so the judges are always going to skew things for personal interest or the interest of whoever's pocket they're in. So, it's one of these things, hey guys, if it's a close fight, we're looking at Whitaker.
Yeah.
Give it to it. If it's anything close, edge on the side of Whitaker.
Well,
and it happens all the time.
And
it's a fucking dirty secret, but it happens.
Well, I don't even know if it's Vegas as much as the UFC wanting to retain the train moving forward. Because if Yoel wins, the train stalls because you can't give him the title yet. You run it back? Now it's a rubber match, and then now you can't move forward. There's other 85ers that
want to jump in.
They want to be in the mix as well. Yeah. So, and you've already had a mess with GSP coming in stealing the fucking title in the middle of the night from Bisbing and then bouncing
out. Yeah.
So that's where I'd say, and that's why I was talking about the Durandame Holly Holmes. If Holly Holmes was still the champion at the time going into the Durandame fight, they give her that decision.
Yeah.
Because the title holder always gets the benefit of the doubt, I feel. Because you got to beat the champ. You got a champ.
Yeah. You have to beat the champ. And I think there's always these conversations about it, and it's, hey man, if it's close, this is the way we'd like to see it go.
Yeah.
And there'll be more work for you on the next big card.
How about this though? How do you feel about this? In every other sport, going into the fourth quarter, we know the score.
Right.
So you get to look up and say, okay, I got it.
Right.
Do we start to do that in the
I don't like that. I've heard other people say that. I don't like it. No, I don't like it.
But also, here's the thing too.
I like the. Here's the thing, both parts of it. If it's a close fight like that, yeah, maybe it spurs both fighters on to really attack in the fifth round. But more often than not.
But you don't think that would skew fuckery as well? Because now the judges come out with the score and the crowd either yays or boos.
Right.
And if it's a shitty fucking, Adelaide Bird scores it fucking 10-8 fucking can of soup. You know what I mean? Like, then we fucking know. We go like, what the boo?
Yeah.
Boo! Who the fuck is this person?
Yeah.
Rather than saying, oh yeah, same thing with referees. That's why refs get better in better games. And they don't make certain calls because they're like, I don't want to be the guy who's in there. So I'm going to do my job the best I can, and I want to just stay out of the way. I don't want to be the storyline
factor, right?
Yeah. And like when you get those Adelaide Birds where you're like, where the fuck were you watching the fight like this?
Yeah.
Like looking that way? Like no, and that's why I think putting it up there, you need to know.
Yeah.
I think and it would
I've experienced it at like local events when I was more active with MMA and cornering people and stuff where I'd be standing in the ring and I'd hear, judge so and so scores it, blah blah blah. Like for one of our fighters, where it was like, where I knew our fighter lost, and it was like, judge so and so scores it 4, blah blah blah, and I'd sit there and I'd go. There'd be times I'd look at you and go,
yeah, right.
I didn't fucking get that one, and it was for our fighter. So I think sometimes judges, they're not the.
But that's why I think though it's the same thing with referees in the NFL. Like the ones that make bad calls, people are vocal about it now with Twitter and all that, and you could do it on the spot, and now they're under review per game, and that's why certain refs are allowed to ref during the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So it should be, and then now you're starting to, Adelaide Bird does the fucking Buffalo card that's on fucking Sunday night fucking fight night. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you save the real people for the big title fights because they have a track record of being solid, and people will now know who they are because they see them. Boom, boom. I can't believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
They don't even do that now, which I think it's funny that they don't have anybody who does that now. Because remember Eddie Bravo used to do that for MMA back in the old days in UFC.
Yeah.
He would say, I think it's 10-9, blah, blah, blah. And you would be like, okay, same thing with boxing. Always has it. Letterman. I scored it, 5 rounds to 3, Mayweather, so you're like, and then when the judges come out with it, and you're like, what the fuck? I think of a fight in boxing that I bring back to Manny Pacquiao, Bradley.
Right. Yeah.
Where the commentary, Matt Letterman's card, everything was Manny Pacquiao was dominating this fight.
Yes.
He's cruising to a victory.
Right.
And when they came out and gave Bradley the fight, everybody was shocked because.
You're right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if that guy was putting his score up every round, people would be like, "No, boo! What the fucking?" Atlas would be over there putting his hands up. Maybe that judge goes, "All right, maybe I'm not doing my job right. Let me refocus here."
But, and again, now you start to let the
crowd
masses control the fate. I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
But they have a better.
It could be one of those things like now where everybody's sitting in their seats and they're like on Twitter. Woodley won first round, blah, 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 blah. We're all of a sudden in a fucking Hunger Games scenario. Should we kill him at the end of the fight? Yes, yeah.
I mean, I don't know maybe if we're going to that length, but I think that we need some more transparency.
I know.
Just because, like I said, more transparency.
Person is smart, people are stupid.
Maybe not put their names.
I think the more power you put in the hands of the masses.
Well, no, they could, but they
could
boo,
democracy.
But they could boo or cheer, whatever. But maybe not even put the judge's name up there as per quarter or per round. But let them guys know. Let them know, because sometimes too the corners are fucking skewed because of the way they view a fight. And they're like, "Yeah, man, you're doing great, and you're watching at home and you're going, "No, this guy needs to knock him out now. Otherwise, he's going to lose this."
We always used to tell our fighters they were pieces of shit.
Yeah, no.
We'd be like, "You fucking lost that round, you fucking piece of shit.
You got to get this fucking round back. That was shit."
Even though he was in the mount pounding him for fucking 5 minutes. You're a fucking piece of shit. You lost that round. You better come back and get this round.
But I just think it's weird that like MMA and stuff, it's the only sport, even jiu-jitsu, you see the score, you can give them, be like, they're down 5-1. Like, you need to do something.
Right. Yeah, you need to get on your horse and do something,
Because it's weird. Like, sometimes you get these cornermen, the guy's down 3 rounds to none, and they're telling you, "Oh, man, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, Demetrius Johnson's fucking dancing around, throwing kicks at you. You need to knock this motherfucker out, now.
Yeah, Greg Jackson. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
Yeah.
Waterfalls.
Go to your waterfall. Yes.
Tickling your butt.
Yeah. He's good, though.
I'm not a Greg Jackson fan.
He's
good, but I'm not a Greg Jackson. I put him up there with Kanye. I'm not a fan, but I respect the talent.
Okay.
It is what
Putting
it is.
up with Kanye, that's Greg Jackson. You hear that? That's serious praise.
That's some
Damn.
praise here.
That really wasn't.
Again, I bring it back to praise.
Yeah.
Praise.
It's funny because that was like kind of an insult from him, but to me it sounded like the highest of compliments. So.
It's not.
Dude, my fucking leg's still kind of cramped up.
It is. Oh. What else we want to talk about?
I don't know. What else is done?
I got ordained as a minister.
Yes, tell us about that.
I went online and got ordained as a minister.
In the religion of... Dudism.
But I can officiate weddings.
The Big Lebowski.
I can officiate weddings. If you're looking for an officiant for your wedding, if you're not a very religious person, hit me up. I'll officiate your wedding. Beast, Louis Rumsey and his bride Stephanie actually reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, is that a real thing? Like, can you officiate a wedding?" I'm like, "Yes, I can."
Wow.
So I may officiate a wedding. I don't know. If hey man, if the Beast wants me there, I'm there for him.
Well,
I've been in his corner in fights and everything else. Like, man, I'll come out and I'll
You being
Shit,
the
I'll
reverend at a
appreciate.
wedding, like, it reminds me of that scene from Beetlejuice.
which one?
The scene where that dude shows up and he's that fucking creepy reverend guy and he's trying to marry Kelly McGinnis. No, not Kelly McGinnis. What's her name? I can't think right now.
I don't know.
Beetlejuice. Or Beetlejuice got married.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I don't know. Listen,
It'd be something like that.
the way we came out of that.
The gates of hell
is
would
the
fuck
computer
up.
wants to fucking restart itself. No, remind me later. We're in the middle of a podcast here at Google. Stop with your nonsense. It started as like a joke. We were sitting around. We had a couple people over at the house. We were just having dinner and sitting around afterwards having drinks and stuff. And somehow somebody said about being an ordained minister. And I'm like, fuck, I'll go online right now and get ordained as a minister. Like, you don't, and somebody called my bluff. And I went, call my bluff. When I went on, fuck that. I was an ordained minister in under like 9 minutes, and
And you don't even do drugs.
And I don't even do drugs. That's the scary part.
I know.
Yeah, I do this crazy shit without drugs.
Which makes me
Drug-free
think,
craziness.
Which makes me think, if you did do drugs, would you do more crazy shit,
Or less crazy
would you
shit.
be more content being stoned to where you wouldn't feel the need to go get ordained
I don't
on
know.
just some fucking random night?
Oh no, though. Is that a whim we really want to find out? Like, if we get Jeff hyped up on peyote and put him on a fucking spirit quest, will he be less
I would like to find that out.
predictable, or do I become more unpredictable?
The podcast 11. Tune in and
Yeah.
let's see if
You
Jeff on hallucinogens
Without
can
drugs,
become
without
ordained
drugs,
in
I
the,
stop
in the Church of Satan.
Yeah, without drugs, I stop at the ordainment of dudism and officiate weddings in Pennsylvania. I get on peyote, and all of a sudden I'm in fucking Waco shooting it out with the ATF. Like, we don't know where that could go.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, you.
listen, I'm
you
available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, and other things, in case you're wondering. And I come cheap. You just gotta, like, give me dinner.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Dinner. I'm good.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
that's not a bad deal, right?
Yeah.
You just feed me. It's not like if Kevin said that. Like, if Kevin said that, you might just offer to pay him.
Yeah.
Just be like, dude, I'll just pay you. What the fuck's the fee? Because
Yes.
I can't back up a truck full of cargo.
Drinks truck of fucking hot dogs.
Drinks truck of hot dogs. But that's my news. I'm now Reverend
That's pretty cool.
Jeffrey Scott Reese.
Yeah.
All 3 names.
That's nice.
Serial killer.
Yeah, yeah.
They say most serial killers have 3 names. 3 first
Yeah.
names.
Yes.
I've got 3 first names.
And
so.
child molesters.
That's
No, actually, I
brutal.
don't know if that's true. I don't know.
That is
Jared's only
that
goes
is
by
not a
one. He's
fact.
like Prince or
Prince.
Madonna.
If you go by one name, you're likely a child molester.
Yeah.
If you have 3 names,
Yeah.
you're likely a serial killer.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything else that happened that's like exciting? I know we got the big Trump Kim Jong-il summit coming up, so we'll have to talk about
Kim
that.
Jong-un.
Sorry, Kim Jong-un coming up,
Yes.
which I'm excited about. I want to see what happens, man. Dennis Rodman's gonna be there. I don't know.
Anytime Dennis Rodman's there, I'm in. I think
I'm
that
around.
I think he
for it.
needs to be like Trump needs to put him in some position of power as like an ambassador of America. Probably just like put him on the board of ambassador to North Korea. You know?
Whatever, man. Hey, whatever makes
Give
the
some-
world a smaller place and brings us to a little bit more cohesion between, where I don't have to worry about nuclear destruction, mutual destruction, and, war and all that. Anything that brings us closer, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck.
Honestly
I
though,
just want
I'm
a
like
smaller, more peaceful world.
I'm gonna go like totally like conspiracy stoner on you right now.
Oh, here we go.
But like
Hey, let me take a sip of my peyote before we fucking go down this rabbit hole.
like just because everything though has become like TV to where I kind of don't know what is 100% genuine or not these days.
Mhm.
Besides sports, because it's hard to fake sports because if you watch them long enough, even they can be, the outcomes can be skewed, whatever. But as far as like politics go and the news goes, like it's always slanted in one way or another. Like this same story we're talking about right now on CNN can mean one thing, and on Fox News it's something else.
Totally different.
Right. It's like one, it's Trump is bending over backwards for North Korea and they're going to join together and enslave America and kill us all. And then the other one is Trump's going to end world hunger and he's going to become the new Messiah, But to me, it's just like, if you ever read the book, 1984?
Yes.
What was that, George Orwell?
George Orwell.
Yeah. Well, basically, the whole thing of that was thought crimes and controlling people's thoughts, right?
Right.
And they kept the fear. Everyone was in fear that they were going to get taken to these camps and killed.
Right.
But what happened when they took you? They just took you and they just
yeah.
released you somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
And
Released, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And to where they think these people are dying and getting taken away, but they're putting it, and the whole time they're building towards fighting this great war.
Right.
And fuck, I can't think of Gianna or something was like the big
Yeah.
country.
It was just relocation. Yeah.
Right, no,
Yeah.
but they were talking about, it's just this huge world war was basically going on, and that's
Right.
what everybody in this area was working towards.
Yes.
Everybody went to job for the state, was watched by the state, because we have an enemy, and we
Yes.
need to stop it, to where, like, it was all a show. There
Yes.
was no war.
Right.
There was
There
no
was
great
no-
war in the
right.
great. And
Yeah.
to me, like, sometimes I wonder how genuine these wars are. If they're not completely manufactured just to keep people in line. And where you just said, hey, as long as I don't have to worry about nuclear war. But what if, like...
No, there definitely is.
Well, what if
I would definitely say some of these things are manufactured.
But I'm just saying, like, this great nuclear catastrophe, what if it's just a big ruse? Like, what if we don't even have as much nuclear capabilities as we think we do and as people think we do? You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe
we
we
act
don't,
like
yeah.
the way they talk about nukes are everybody's fucking got them.
Right.
Like, every time I turn on the news, this country's got nukes, this country's got nukes, this
Right.
country, and knock on wood, I don't want it to go off. But if all these fucking nukes are out there in crazy people's hands and none of them are going off,
Right.
how real is it? Or is this just another, like back in the 50s with fucking Russia and Sputnik, like literally people they do drills at school, get under your
Yeah.
desk, cover your ass and fucking
Yeah.
kiss your ass, but
Well, listen,
nobody dropped a fucking nuke.
I'm gonna go. We'll bring it full circle where I say, Americans make things better, for good, for better or worse. We improve upon things, right? We need Americans from the top of our government down. We need a bad guy to push ourselves along.
Yeah, rally
You know what I
behind,
mean?
yeah.
We need a Drago.
Yes.
We need that, right? That was the whole space race. We didn't give a fuck about going to the moon until the Russians wanted to do it.
And
the Russians beat us into space.
Yeah.
They put something into space before we did. They put a fucking dog into space before we did. They put a human into outer space before we did. So it was like, listen, we're fucking losing all this shit. We better get to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whether the moon was a hoax or not a hoax or whatever,
We
forever
put
and
all our
always,
resources
we put all our
into
resources
it to
into
make
getting
people
there.
understand and believe
just
that we...
just to go,
Yes.
we did it. And you were at a height of nationalism.
And now that no one cared about the moon, we haven't been back since. We don't give a shit.
Because we did it.
Yeah.
We
And
did
that's
it.
what people claim is why we haven't been
It's like
back
the
to the
hot,
moon since.
it's like the
Because they're
hot
just like, no
girl
one
in high
cares no more.
school. Like, you're like, I love her, and then
Yeah.
you bang her, and then you don't fucking call her.
All right, well, let's go even
You
deeper with the
fucking
conspiracy.
gone
Okay, so like I
coaster.
said, let's just say that a lot of people believe that we faked the moon landing.
Yes.
We made it, the world to believe
Right.
that we did what we wanted to do.
Yes.
What if the nuclear situation is kind of the same thing, where we have nuclear capabilities, but we hype it up like, yo, you look what we had in 1940 some.
Well,
you don't think it's way bigger, better, and it might not be.
Yeah.
We might just still not have.
That's everything. Like, that's what everybody does that. You talk about you have this kind of car, and I go, well, my car is better than your car.
Yeah.
And, even though I'm driving a fucking beat up, piece of shit car, you don't know that. Or I go, I once tapped out, fucking Elio Gracie back in
Right.
1993, and it's on VHS, lad, but I
Yeah.
fucking lost it. Like, everybody hypes up their thing. So, do we have nukes? Yeah. Are we hyping it up? Fucking A. It's like taking a dick pic, right? You zoom in on
It's
it,
all
make it
about
look
angles.
bigger. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, yeah, look at the fucking size of this thing.
I'm just
and then
saying,
she
though,
shows up, and it's a fucking Tic Tac instead of a fucking nuclear weapon.
But my thing is, I'm just saying, like, this whole Kim Jong Un, and to me, like, what if it's just a big fucking.
I said that.
It's
It's
just all a fucking
I
TV show.
I wish we had started the podcast, because I said this to somebody when they announced Trump's election, and it started to come out about Russian involvement in this, and Kim Jong Un is pissed about this, and
Yeah.
and this person is mad, and this person is mad. I said, look, I was telling somebody, I said, look, you think for a fucking second that these successful businessmen, Putin, Trump, and insert world leader. Most world leaders are very, very successful industrialists,
Mm.
right? They know economies. You think these successful businessmen didn't do this ahead of time? Hey man, yeah, I own a whole bunch of military-industrial complex. Oh, me too. Oh, you do too? Okay, very good. Okay, so we're going to stir shit up on Fox News. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
Yes, man. Very good, comrade.
Yeah.
That is going to sell me a lot of tank. Yes, very good. Yeah. Like, fuck. My accents aren't great, but you get the fucking picture. You think that wasn't...
Offensive.
You think that wasn't
As an
what
Irishman,
fucking
I'm
happened?
offended for that.
You think that wasn't what fucking happened?
No,
And that's what fucking happened.
And that's what happened.
They said, let's stir shit
That's
up
what happens a
because
lot.
the military-industrial complex, I'll throw space complex into that too. Everything's going to go, wow, boom, because we have to. Because we think we have to as Americans.
But why?
That was the whole Cold War.
But why can't we put it on the face of something like something else and get behind that?
We could go, hey, let's cure childhood hunger.
Right.
Let's cure childhood cancer. Let's do this, let's do that.
Environmental
But guess
situation.
what? The politicians, Trump doesn't have a company that cures childhood cancer. Putin doesn't have a company that cures childhood hunger. Why? Because there's no fucking money in that. No money in that.
No,
They're looking to make money. Yeah.
But what's the sense of money if it all fucking ends up?
I don't know. I don't have any money. I don't give a fuck. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to be a fucking like a libertarian when you ain't got shit.
Yeah.
It's always better to be a Republican when you got millions.
When you got millions, it's easy. Yeah, I mean,
I agree
whatever.
with that. But I don't know. I just wish we would be able to focus our energies in something else, something more productive. Because I feel like you say, like we've advanced so much in technology and medicine and blah blah blah. But as far as like our culture goes, like we're still fucking fighting about race and religion and shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't
Abortions and gay marriage. It's like, and people are killing each other over this shit. You know what I mean?
Over
Like,
stupid shit.
yeah, we could fucking fly to the moon. Fucking Elon Musk could supposedly fucking drop cars into space. You know?
Jeff Bezos,
Who's that?
the Amazon guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy who owns Amazon and Wall Street Journal or whatever. He's making $14 billion a day or whatever the hell he makes.
Right.
But those are the guys too that are also going to propel. I was going to say America, but they're going to propel the world into the future. Richard Brandt.
But if we don't get there culturally, like that's what it's always economically, but it's never culturally, socially. Like that's where we're using those things to distract from the economic growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Trump is, he's doing great things for the economy, but socially people want to fucking kill each other.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing to me is because all of the economic growth ain't gonna matter much if we tear each other apart, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a little more balance between the two. And I'm not saying in the social changes is like the way Obama pitched it, because Obama had a lot of great grand ideas, but he never
executed.
But the Democrats, I feel, always have that. It's always like a goody feel move, but it's never a real solution. It's just let's tax people and give poor people free money. You know what I mean?
They're the dessert. The Republicans are, the vegetables.
Right.
But
we need a little bit more.
both.
We need a steak.
Yeah.
Where it's tasty and nutritious.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So that's where that middle ground lies, and we can't get there.
Yeah.
So you have the Democrats whose solution is we're gonna tax the shit out of the rich, give it to the fucking poor people.
Yeah.
The middle class gets fucked, and then the Republicans are like, well, let's make some breaks for the rich people and fuck the poor people in the middle class.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just would like.
But anytime you have somebody that comes in, a candidate that comes in that is a balancing force.
Yeah.
They're just a fucking chicken in a lion pit.
Yeah, they
just get fucking torn apart by both sides.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
terrible.
They can't get,
Yeah, and they can't get in on any party, and then they're running on the fucking Green Party, and nobody takes those guys seriously.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the last person to do it was Hitler. He was the last person to come in as a fucking, independent.
Yeah.
And look what fucking happened. So maybe it's not the best idea.
No,
maybe it's not the best idea. But man,
but if you could get Hitler, if you could get Hitler out of office before he started killing the Jews, Germany would have been all right.
Would have been all right.
Yeah, it was like, no, that's a great idea. Well, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And they were like, to kill the Jews. And we're like, I don't know about that. And they're like, well, his last couple ideas were really good. And they're like, all right, well, I guess we could kill maybe like 500,000 and see how that goes, and then before you know it, it's the death toll's a little too much.
The death toll's a little too much, yeah.
But he did. He took Germany from a fucking shit show to
That's what
a
I'm
world
saying,
power.
You know, and he was that
Yeah.
third party,
Yeah.
you know, independent, whatever.
I'm saying though, like more of a Ron Paul when he was running on the Green Party. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just so people,
But he went
sure,
Republican.
I'm not a supporter
Oh, no.
of Hitler.
No.
Just like,
But he was
fucking-
Time Magazine's Man of the
he
Year
was
twice.
Twice, yeah,
Because
twice.
of, like I said,
Yeah.
his economic platform was. But that's what I'm saying. Economic growth became great, but social growth
Social
became
growth
fucking
became-
terrible.
right.
And that's why a lot of people bring Trump into the same talk with Hitler. I don't know if he's on that same level. I don't think he has the same
I don't think
hatred in his
I don't think
heart.
we're going to see 6 million Mexicans
Yeah,
dead.
no, I don't think we won't stand for that now. We're too connected as a people to let that happen.
for sure.
But there's those people out there who believe it. There's a majority of people out there who fucking believe that he's the Antichrist. But there's also people who thought Obama was the Antichrist.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have your fucking wackos.
Yeah, but it's
You know?
but I feel like the wackos have grown.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
The
they
fringe
have.
players, the two
Yeah.
fringe, you know, there's a lot of people in the middle, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. But the fringe players seem,
Yeah.
maybe they haven't grown, but
Well, it's-
because of the internet, they have more of a
It's fine.
voice.
It's this. This
Yeah.
is what has.
And that's scary.
Yeah, it brings the nuts together. You know, it brings the crazies together.
And that's my thing where, like I said, culturally and socially, we need to evolve slightly. And we need to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Because all the economic growth won't mean shit if we're fucking burning people in ovens.
Nah.
You know, it happened a million times or hundreds of times throughout history. You know, but
Yeah, well, every great civilization usually like goes
Yeah.
and then implodes on itself, and you know, all
And
the way
we're-
back to the days of Pharaoh. When,
yeah, we're
you know,
terrible,
hey,
and we're towing that line.
Hey man, as long as I'm dead before it happens, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'll just look down from. I'll look up from
Look
wherever
up
I'm
from
at.
wherever you're at.
I'll look up from wherever I'm at and just go. All right, I'm not there. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know, sit back with some popcorn and Netflix, binge it. In hell. Got the
Alright.
Wi-Fi
I
code.
think-
I'll give it to you when you get there.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That's it. I'm talked out.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm hungry. I need to fucking.
I think we touched on everything.
But I think we
I gotta
touched
go
on
fucking
everything,
drink
yeah.
some water and fucking
Just-
stretch.
I think this number 10 goes down as one of the most memorable ones in history. For sure.
Maybe.
All
I
thanks to your prolapse anus.
Holy fuck. That was terrible. It's still
fucking
bad.
Damn. Dude, you're fucking like, you were like, wow. I was like, what the fuck happened?